Thank you for tuning in with us every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. About our host, Carlotta Taylor is not just a survivor of child abuse, but has grown into what we come to know as our personal thriver against all odds, who no longer flinches at adversity, but overcomes with authority. Carlotta decided to find the courage to say yes to herself. Miss Taylor has piece by piece faced her biggest adversary, the brokenness, and healed not only herself, but has also affected thousands through her outreach and influence. Carlotta Taylor is the author of the best-selling book, No More Flinching. Getting to the heart of the matter has always been what Carlotta is about. To keep in touch, text Carlotta to 888-111. It's time for the show to begin. It wouldn't be the same without you, because this is the place people bond worldwide, sharing powerful stories, prevailing over adversity. The heart of the matter is the people's joy. Now, turn your attention to our host, Carlotta Taylor, as the show begins.
When it comes to being a radio personality, do you have what it takes? Do you know the importance of connecting with your audience? Well, one person joining us today, she knows exactly what it takes. Joining us today is Tambra Cherie. Hello, Tambra. How you doing?
Hey, girl. I am fine. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm so excited that you are joining us today on the Heart of the Matter show. I am just thrilled that you carved out some time. I know you're busy. That girl said, I'm going to make it happen for you, Carlotta. Thank you so much.
No, you're all good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. We're just going to kick this thing off. What does getting to the heart of the matter mean to you?
Well, you know what? When you said the title of the show, it's like, okay, to the heart of the matter. I like that. I think it just means like just getting straight to it. Like the bulk of it, the founding, the grounding. How did it begin? Just the heart of it all. Like that's what it sounds like it means to me, to be honest.
Oh, yes, yes. Get into the heart of it all. That's like, that really does something for me, because if we don't get to the core, I mean, we're really not making much change. And wow, I'm so excited to unpack your story and your journey today. Take us back, Tambra, because people look at you now and they like, wow. But, you know, there's a little girl inside of you somewhere. There's a child inside of all of us. Take us back to the childhood development, because childhood development is so essential and key when it comes to our adulthood. Okay. So tell us, how was life for you growing up as little Tambra Cherie?
Oh, girl, it was good. I mean, I can only say that I'm blessed, to be honest with you. Totally blessed. I grew up, my parents, my grandparents, those are people I looked up to be honest with you. I didn't have to really go far. My parents, they had been together since like high school, since the 10th grade. So they were great examples of love right in front of me. They did whatever they had to do, like to make it happen for their kids. And the same with my grandparents. My grandparents had been married 50 years. So I had those examples of people that I really looked up to. They were hard workers. I saw people going to work every day and just working hard, you know, just trying to make a way. I never even saw like not to say there was never an argument, but I never saw like my grandparents, they never just argued in front of the kids, you know? So it was good. I just saw hard work growing up. So I think that, you know, just watching that, watching the love, watching, you know, hard work, like, you know, that plays a part on you. That plays a part on how you grow up. It defines your character and how you're going to go hard when you get older. So I think that is like, I had a pretty good childhood, to be honest with you. I really did. I just have to say thank you. I just have to say thank you, because, you know, when you get older and you realize things, you realize how blessed you were, that you had, like, you know, you realize how you were really blessed, because everybody didn't have that. Everybody didn't have that. And you realize that exactly. You meet people and now you have friends, like no one grew up the same.
Yes.
Like, you realize that when you get older, you're like, wow, you know, so you have to be thankful for that.
Wow, so much gratitude. And, they say the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. I had the opportunity to meet your parents or be introduced to them at your book signing. And we're going to get into that later. But
Yes.
I know you look just like your father, spitting image. And I could see the love in both of your parents' eyes. And I can see like you're this blooming, blossoming flower. And I'm just so happy for you and
Thank
so
you.
happy that you're here to share your story today. So life
Yeah.
was grand.
Like I said, man, it was good.
Loving family, what more could you ask for? Support and everything was there.
Yes.
And how did life unfold for you? Just take us through high school, kind of skip along, and then maybe college. If I believe you attended at HBCU. So let's
Yes.
talk about that real quick before we get into it.
Okay, high school, like I was in high school. I feel like I was kind of like, the pay attention. People don't realize when I was in high school, I made straight A's in high school. Like people don't realize that. Like, yeah, I was trying to be a smart girl.
I see you.
I was that girl. Like I believed in education. I believed in getting good grades. Like I believed in all of that. And even through college, I went to college on a scholarship. So I believed in doing the work. I believed in hard work. I believed in schoolwork. I believed in all of that. So I went hard for that. Even through school, like I remember, like it's kind of crazy because even in college, I was the one to sit on the front row. Yeah, and people probably wouldn't think that. Honestly, I went to school with my program director and did not even know him until I came to the station, and he said that's because you sat at the front of the class and paid attention when everybody else was in the back.
Wow.
Like I was that girl. Like I believed, like, getting good grades and going to school, and I loved it. I loved school. I was one of those girls who loved the school, and a lot of people don't believe that. I'm like, yeah, I was a talker though. I was always a talker. Oh yeah.
Did you ever get in trouble for talking?
Oh, let me tell you something. In elementary, and I've always shared this story. I shared this story on radio too. Like in elementary school, I was a talker, but I would still make good grades. But I always remember a teacher told me, a teacher that I loved. I thought she was so much fun. I just loved her class. I loved it. But I always remember her pulling me in the hall and like those side calls or whatever, where you could see the classroom, like one of those rooms. Mm-hmm. And I remember her telling me, it's like, you talk so much, you're going to be pregnant by the time you're 15. And yeah.
No, she didn't.
Yeah. A teacher that I loved told me that. So I always remember that. And I was just like, wow, okay. So that's also one of the reasons I believed in staying in school. And I was just not going to, prove her, feel like that was not going to be my life or what you said to me. And I was a baby. I was in elementary school. I was a baby. So I just remember to this day, I wish I knew where she was because I shared, I may have talked, but now I do get paid to talk,
Exactly.
Still went to school, I graduated, I have 2 degrees. So it's a lot of things that you have to remember. But I remember that moment when I was just a little girl.
I have to say this because I've been privileged, Tambra, to, me and you, we've taken some walks and a few jogs. And I have to say, you're always all about the business. That's why I love hanging out with you. You are about the business. When we go out to dinner, we are talking business conversations, and I just love it. Now, let's tap into some adversity because, listen, what I love about your story, Tambra, is yours is just a little bit different. It has a twist to it. Normally, most guests come on here and they're talking about adversities, hardships that really either affected them physically or mentally. But you have one, and I think it's just so great, and I can't wait to tap into it. Your adversity was hearing the word no often. Let's talk about that. Unpack that for us.
That's something that you're just going to hear stepping into the entertainment industry. Like, being fresh and not having any experience in entertainment. Like my degrees are in management and marketing. I have an MBA degree, but I realized I went after my passion. When I was interning in college, I just realized like, okay, this is not really what I want to do. I would finish the work so fast, I would start looking up entertainment news. And, so I already had a passion for people. I love music. And I interned at a radio station, to be honest. I interned at a radio station. And when I interned at a radio station, it was over with. Like I knew right then exactly what I wanted to do. But having no experience, you're going to hear a lot of no's. Like a lot. And I always tell people that if you have like really sensitive, if you get discouraged really easy, then this is not the industry for you. It's not the industry for you at all. And I even talk about it in my book. No, yes, absolutely. Because like I talk about it in the book. Like I talk about it, no can be the best thing that can happen to you. And for me, people saying no was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow.
Because one door closes, the right one is going to open.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't supposed to open for you. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. So no's can be a good thing. And just sometimes a no can mean not right now. And because sometimes I have doubled back and it's been even greater than the first time I came. So you have to realize that. So no, it's like, just having that tough skin, because in entertainment, no is going to come. So I had to literally build my experience in the industry because I didn't have any. I had to build it. I had to go out and get interviews. I started interning at a radio station, but I also got with the guy who was doing video. Like he was doing had a video show, and we started like going places and just covering events all throughout the state. Not only throughout the state, but we started going to New Orleans from Essence Festival. Like, I was getting in. This girl didn't have a press pass at first, but I just act like I was supposed to be there. Like I learned that. Absolutely. Like you have to have a go-getter attitude. And I started building my experience. I will be honest. I started building my experience. I had no experience. The first person I interviewed ever was Mystical. I had no video experience interviewing anyone in my life. Eric Van interviewed him outside eating chicken on a couch at Freeline. This was me building my experience. I remember interviewing Gucci Man. I pulled him outside the club in Memphis and interviewed him outside of the back door of a club on the top. Yes. I interviewed Birdman in the back at Essence Festival. Like I'm telling you, it's a hustle. I was building experience. Because once you get that experience, because you're going to hear no, because people you don't have the experience. But for me, also while I was building the experience, I was building a brand. That's how I ended up writing for All Hip Hop, writing for all of these different magazines, because I was building my brand.
Absolutely. Wow. So in other words, you really had that hustle and flow mentality. I love the way you said, I was there, I was hustling, I was getting the job done, but you had this persona like I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And, when you have that type of attitude about yourself, that energy kind of exudes and it fills the room. And so this is what I imagine. I imagine with little Tambra Cherie now, because she a little whippersnapper, y'all. She fit, fine, and fabulous, little Miss Thing, right? She lives in Mississippi, but dressed like she lives in New York. I love her, okay? But I can just imagine you with that, all that, little bitty thing with all that strength and all that go-getter attitude and that I'm supposed to be here presence. And when you're not around, I know they're like, wait a minute, we're missing something. Okay, now we got the missing piece. Thank you, babe. Now we got the missing piece. We can move forward. Wow, how amazing is that? So out of all of your no's, I want you to take a moment and go a little deep for us, because that's what we do here on the Heart of the Matter show. We go deep. What was the hardest no that you ever had to take? You overcame it, and then wow, you understood that it was a blessing waiting for you on the other end.
The hardest no that I've ever had to take? Ooh. Because honestly, all of them were blessings, to be honest.
Yes.
So, so it's really kind of hard now. Oh, if I just think back.
Did any no ever hurt your feelings? I'm talking about like you was excited. You just knew this was going to be it. And then boom, let down. You're like, dang, that was tough. Anything rings a bell. Anything.
I would probably say, I'm just trying to think. Well, I can't even necessarily say that hurt my feelings, because I felt like it made me go harder.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, like I felt like.
Yes, that's the one right there. That's it. That's what I want.
It probably hurt my feelings like a little bit, but he was like, keep going to work. Like, and one of the guys, I never forget, he was actually the vice president of programming for BET. And I just remember we used to email back and forth, and he would just be like, you know what? And at one time, it was something that I was really interested in with BET at one point. And he was like, no, keep going harder. He was like, keep getting the experience. And so
Yes.
to me, it didn't really hurt my feelings, but it made me go harder.
Yes.
It helped me getting that experience. And this was early on. This was really early on. And that's part of what made me go harder. You know?
What I love about that is like it really, when it happens to you and when you receive that no, it's kind of like, okay, what do I do next? You strike me as the type of person who bounces back on their feet like this. Like you don't even get off your feet. You're like, you know what? All right, that's tough. Now, how can I use this to the best of my ability to go even harder? I appreciate you about that. And I know someone watching, someone hearing your story right now is going to say, you know what? I had a no. And it may hurt their feelings because they probably don't know how to have that tough skin, but it's going to encourage somebody that no, oh, we can go there all day. That no that you receive, it doesn't matter what it's dealing with. Because we all have different walks of life. Like Tambra, she is an amazing radio personality. However, she's also doing some other things, and we're getting ready to transition into that. But be inspired. This is someone, Tambra Cherie, right here, right now. She's sharing her truths. Great childhood, great loving family. And one could look back and say, you know what? She just got it all. She has her struggles too. She has her adversities too. And when she heard the word no, she didn't go and say, oh, I'm the spoiled kid. I have love, whatever. She said, I'm going to go harder. Wow, that's an amazing story right there. That's an amazing story. That's an amazing story.
I would say that, but then at the same time, like even when you say the childhood and growing up and the no's and all of that, to me, and you know why, and I will say this, and I feel like we bend, but we don't break. And I'll tell anyone that you can bend all day long. So I may have had some things where I bend, but I'm not going to break. So that's what and that's what I will say this. And even in some of the things that we're talking about, and we get to those things, and I kind of think back, and you notice I have to think real hard. And it's a reason for that, because I do believe, and since we're talking, I do believe sometimes, and this is going for anybody that could be in the audience, one thing that I know for sure, how you can mentally abuse yourself. You kind of like, the one thing you can do to kind of mentally abuse yourself. Think back to everything that you probably did wrong. Think back to everything that you wish you could do over. You know, that's one thing, how you can mentally abuse yourself when you start thinking back to all the, I wish it went that way. I wish it would have gone this way. No, it's supposed to go exactly how it went. It's supposed to go just the way that it's going right now. It was supposed to happen that way. That door was not supposed to be for you. That was not supposed to be for you. It's going exactly the way it needs to go. So sometimes we can be hard on ourselves when we start replaying some of those things in our head. To me, you can mentally abuse yourself, because you start beating yourself up. Well, I may have should have done this, and I may have should have done that. But even I had to realize that, you know, like, but it's not for you. What's for you is always going to be for you. So I'll tell any woman, man or woman, you can bend, just don't break.
Absolutely. I love it. You can bend, just don't break. I like to say, if you fall down, don't stay down for the count.
No.
Don't stay down for the count and just lay there.
You remember how Beyonce kind of flipped a little bit and how quick she got back up?
Yes. What? Fell down hard as ever. You bounce back up like it wasn't there.
Make sure she actually fell.
Period.
But that's how you do it.
That's how you do it. Absolutely. Now, I understand that you have a best-selling book out, Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love.
Yes.
What inspired you to even write the book, and when did you first have those thoughts? Because I understand a lot of people, like myself, being one of them, when I first had the initial thought to write the book, that was well over 10 years before it was even published.
You don't do it. Like you don't do it. So for me, I do believe it was my God-given assignment. You know, I'm like you. I had thought about it. I write some stuff down. I wrote down the title years before I even came out with the book. Like, you know, it's like, oh, one day. That's what I say. I'll be like, okay, one day I'm going to do this. One day. But then, and I'll tell anyone this, when you do not follow your God-given assignment, for me, things in my life just start getting out of whack. Like, what's going on here? I'm trying to do this here. What's going on here? Why are things out of whack? But guess what? That's because God had given you an assignment and you didn't follow that assignment. So all of these things started falling out of whack. And then when I finally sat down to write this book, things started falling right back into place. Right into place. And that's when I realized, and I tell people this, you know, we pray about a lot of things. And I know I'm a prayer warrior over here, okay? But we pray about a lot of things and we feel like we're waiting on God when sometimes God is actually waiting on you. I was waiting on you to do this assignment. So now we can move forward. So that's my story when it comes as far as writing the book. That's why you went through some of these things, because this is like, I wanted you to finish this assignment. This is a part of your God-given assignment. So for me, the book, God-given assignment all day long, all day long.
God-given assignment. Wow. All right. So now let's tell us about the book and what can a person look forward to if they, you know, click your link. We're going to get to that in a moment. But when they go and pick up that book, why should they get your book? Put it that way. Why should they get it?
Well, why? Because I do feel like the title literally came from the industry, but it can go for anywhere. Surrounded by sin, but grounded by love. And when I'm talking about grounded by love, I'm talking about God's love. But I'm surrounded by sin all day long. And then I talk about 8 simple keys to becoming a better you. I believe everyone can be a better version of themselves. You can never stop growing and being better. And then when I came to a point in my life where I realized I want to be a better friend, I want to be a better person, I want to stop doing some of the things that I was doing to please other people. Like, you know, so that's what I talk about in the book. So I'm sharing things that help me become a better person myself. I'm sharing, you know, keys and things that help me. I'm sharing them with you. And then I'm also sharing you with mistakes that I made along the way.
Wow.
So it's very forthcoming. Like, this is the book. If you don't have it, this is the book. Like, this is the book. So it just talks about very different keys. Person one, since we're talking, this is one of the first things I opened, and I just opened the book. And
yes.
Never lower your standards to compromise your integrity to make others feel comfortable or for you to feel accepted. I say this, never do that because I did that. I'm telling you, don't do that because I did that. I tried to, like, you know, my standards are mine. I tried to compromise on things to make other people happy, or I'm trying to please other people, you know, trying to dim your light so it won't shine so bright. Don't do that. Big mistake. Big mistake. So I'm telling you things that help me be a better person. I started saying no. When I was getting told no, you know, sometimes I hated to tell people no. It's like, even in the industry, I hated saying the word no. Even in the industry that I'm in, people will ignore emails, they will ignore calls just to avoid saying no. But when I learned how to say no and be comfortable with no matter how you do feel about it, that's something that you have to learn and be okay with that, because that's okay.
Yes. Yes, get comfortable with saying no.
Sometimes you hurt people's feelings when you say that. Sometimes you hurt people's feelings when you put boundaries up. Like, you know, you hurt people's feelings, but you have to realize sometimes that is what's best for you and your growth. Wow,
I was just thinking, sometimes saying no is showing yourself self-love.
Absolutely, yes. That's exactly what
it's a part of the self-love process.
It's a part of it. It is a part of it. Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
And, you know, you don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but sometimes, you know, that can hinder your growth as well.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I totally agree.
Absolutely. So you are not just a radio personality, a radio talk show host, and all of that good stuff. You're not just a best-selling author of Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love. That's not all it is to you. Let's unpack some other facets of your life. What else you got going on? I somebody ringing a bell or something. What else you got going on, Tambra Cherie?
You know, first, I like to consider myself an entertainment, interactive media talent. I don't like to talk at you. I like to talk with people. Of course, yes, of course, I'm a host. I'm a guest host. I've been a guest host for television just probably about the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years. prior, if you don't want to break it up, but national TV as far as like the past 2 years. And as far as now, it's like literally, of course, with Bill Collective. Bill Collective is a new docuseries that actually comes on OWN every Friday night.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. 10 p.m. Eastern. And I love it. Like, to be honest with you, it was an opportunity that definitely came, and it came at a time. And I told everyone, because everyone's like, well, what were you doing and how did it happen and all of that? It came at a time, like we were in the middle of a pandemic. For me, we were in the middle of a pandemic. And I feel like I told him, like, well, honey, I was at home minding my own business. I was going to work. Radio, and I do, but one thing I will say, I was doing a lot of cleansing, I was doing a lot of praying, I was doing a lot of fasting. And when I completed all of that, it's like this phone call came, and it's like, oh, what new?
Come on, manifestation.
Yes. Like, what are we doing? And no, it wasn't immediate. It wasn't like an immediate guess for me either. Like, I wouldn't say that. It was definitely something that I had to pray about, I had to think about, and literally, that's how it ended up coming all together. And the fact that it was something with Oprah, who I absolutely love, adore. Yes. I love her, everything that when I met her, like, I love everything that she does. I love what she stands for. Some of her interviews are phenomenal that I watch. And then when you work with, when you have that opportunity to come on a network with someone that you actually in the industry that you're in, that you love, and you have watched their work and you've watched their growth and you have so much respect for them as a Black woman, it's easier to say yes. Much easier. Yes.
Absolutely. I love it. Oh my gosh. This has been so energy filled. Let's go ahead. While I'm thinking about this right now, let's go ahead and take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Champion. Last one standing, you a champion. Anybody winning, you a champion. Everybody winning, you a champion. 24/7, nothing in between. All of this golden and turn me a king. To be the greatest, you gotta compete. Hot like the sun, I'm bringing the heat. One verse when it can't stop. I was made to win, it was made as a copy. It's obvious, I bodied this. So if we top 10, I'ma top the list. Gotta do it for your team, put the city on the map. Never argue back, tell them look at the stats. No matter where you at, leave it all on the track. Cause winners gon' win and the losers gon' chat. Yeah, you can tell by my step on the field,
I'm Marshall Thompson, the Unknown Warrior, WKA MMA National Champion. If you want to be the best, come train with the best.
All right, so we have joining us today on the Heart of the Matter show, the amazing Tambra Cherie. She's talking about her biggest adversity in life is getting over hearing the word no. And she is sharing how she does not allow the word no to stop her. She says, you know what, I'm going to go even harder. And I love that about your story, Tambra Cherie. Let's talk about anything that you have going on. What's next? Just break everything down to us. When it comes to Tambra Cherie, how are you here to add value to the world in all areas you want to cover right now?
Oh, well, definitely. I've always said I wanted to be more than a voice on the radio. Like, that's from day one. I do believe as radio personalities, you're not just there to be like, okay, here's Future, here's the next song. No, that's not why I'm there. It's a purpose bigger than that. My purpose is much bigger than that. Not only are we here to entertain, but for me, it's also to inspire, to motivate, to encourage, to pour into someone else. You have that voice for a reason. You know, you're talking to thousands and thousands of people a day for a reason. So for me, you know, I don't take that lightly. I don't take that lightly. I don't take that responsibility lightly at all. So that's a big deal for me. As far as like, and that breaks off into the book. You know, I want it to be more than a radio personality. That breaks it off into the book, into your brand. I'm also a co-owner of a boutique. Some people don't even know that. You know, so I do a lot of investing. People don't know that.
What's the name of that boutique now?
Fifth and Soul.
Oh, yes.
Soul, like fifth and A-N-D and soul, like the sole of your shoe. And this online boutique with my business partner, who's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. She does a great job. Like, you know, so, you know, you have to have like different levels for me. I know for me, you know, like, I believe in multiple streams of income, you know, and building your brand So
Yes.
for me, that's what I do. Of course, but right now, what occupies a lot of my time, of course, would be the television show Bell Collective. So for right now, yes.
I have to put this out there. Like me, like I'm a night owl myself, all right? And some of our text messages are kind of like 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning ish. And Tam was like wide awake, like, girl, I'm working. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. Like she's not playing, you all. She gets it done. You get the job done. You go above and beyond. And what I love about you, Tambra, is you're so genuine.
Yeah.
Your energy is just simply amazing. I really admire that about you.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Yes. Yes.
I really do. I appreciate that. I
Yes.
mean, that's the goal. My goal is always say, people say, treat people how you want to be treated. I try to treat people better than they really treat me, to be honest.
Wow.
And because I know what the blessing looks like. The way I'm set up, I can't be mean or degrade anyone because that's not my character. That's not me.
I love it.
You know what the blessing looks like when you're just good to people.
Yes. Whoo. Because you never know where your next blessing could be coming from.
You absolutely never know. You never know. You really don't. You really don't. But it's just a matter of just being like I've grown to just be good to people. You never know what people go through. Like you never know.
You never know.
So when you're just good to people, just be good to people for no reason.
Boy, that's a whole. Somebody can shout and pass the collection plate on that one right there. Yes. So,
be good to people for no reason. Okay.
Amazing. Okay, now listen, girl, man, you can just talk all day, but amazing story, Tambra. Thank you for sharing. Is there anything left on your heart? 2 things. One, that you would like to share that you haven't tapped into yet, and then plug us in. How can we connect with you? How can we support you? Where can we buy your book from? I already have a copy. Get the copy of the book, okay? It's a great book. You definitely need it to add it to your library. But how can we serve you, honor you, support you? Tell us how.
Well, definitely in support. Just continue and listen to the midday on 97.7, the beat of the capital. And even in the middle of the pandemic, the midday came in #1. So I would say thank you to our listening audience in Jackson and surrounding areas for helping make the midday #1 during a pandemic. That's a really big deal to me. I can be more appreciative and thankful. So definitely continue to listen to that. And what I try to do, to be honest, Carlotta, is I just try to be a voice that can help other people. Be a voice for people who might not have a voice. Be a voice for people who are scared to speak up. I'm very approachable. Our station has always said we are the beat of the capital. And that's what I tapped into Jackson for a reason. It's a reason, and it's very dear to me. I love the city. I know we have issues and our problems, but that's things that we take care of in the family. When I say in the family, I mean in the city of Jackson.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. But I know there's a lot of talent here. The talent is amazing. It's amazing. And I'm definitely happy that, other people outside of Jackson get to see that, even in what we have going on now with Bell Collective and on TV. I love that. I really do. I really do. So just thank you guys for just continuing the support. Thank you. My website, you can always reach out to me, www.tambracherie.com. I'm on Instagram at Tambra Cherie, Facebook at Tambra Cherie on air. Of course, the book, Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love, you can always order that on my website or Amazon.com. But in person, I'm on the radio every day.
Yes, every day.
I just appreciate the support and the love that people show me. I really do. I really do. And thank you. Thank you. To be honest, thank you. I love everything that you are doing. Continue to be a voice. Continue to be a voice for other people. Continue to help people and pour into people, no matter if they're pouring back into you or not. Continue to pour into people. I'm telling you, I'm the walking testimony of the blessings always come back to you.
Yes, you are. Wow, that was heavy right there. I love that. Wow, it's been a privilege and an honor to have you on the show. And make sure you drop all of those links you were just sharing. All of those links, drop them in the comments, okay? Make sure you do that tonight before you get too busy, because I want people to know exactly how they can support you, buy your book, plug into whatever you have going on. Thank you once again for joining us today.
Oh, and of course, make sure you're watching Bell Collective on Friday nights on the OWN Network.
Yeah, I heard that. Bell Collective, what time?
9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Matter of fact, today's Thursday. Tomorrow it is a brand new episode. Make sure you tune in and make sure you watch it.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tambra. It was simply amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Wow. Oh, I'm just, I'm smiling like a little girl. My face really is kind of stuck in that smiling position. You know how it starts to hurt behind your ears? That's my feeling right now. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And yes, we did have a lunch giveaway, but guess what? Unfortunately, nobody adhered to all of the contest rules. So I will be dropping the rules again, and hopefully someone will actually make sure they check the list and check it twice so your lunch can be on the Heart of the Matter show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Heart of the Matter. If you would like to sponsor an episode or be a guest on the show, email theheartofthemattershow@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you next Thursday for another amazing episode.